The first blow, arrogance of the invaders. The Arashi Dominion was an empire built on cruelty. They descended without warning upon the human colony of Arden IV, a lush green world barely a century old. To them, it was not a home, it was a hunting ground. Their dreadnoughts eclipsed the skies, and when they unleashed their fury, the surface burned. Cities crumbled under kinetic bombardments. Families fled into forests as drones hunted them like cattle. The Arashi made no attempt to hide their motives. On the Dominion's flagship, the warlord Jaith laughed as he watched the slaughter unfold. Humans breed quickly. It matters little if a few million perish. We are merely pruning their numbers before they grow too bold. The Arashi had done this before to other species, other colonies, other worlds. And always those civilizations broke under the lash. None dared to strike back. To them, humanity was no different. Just another prey animal. Just another soft species destined to bow or bleed. They had no idea what they had provoked. The Feast of Mockery. The massacre of Arden IV was not just conquest, it was sport. Captured humans were thrown into pits with beasts imported from a dozen worlds. The Arashi broadcast the games across the galaxy, forcing the galaxy to watch humans torn apart for entertainment. The Council of Worlds, powerless and unwilling, merely shook their heads. No one dared interfere. The Arashi laughed as human blood stained alien sand. The prey resists, they bite, but they still die. One prisoner in particular caught their attention. A woman, lean and scarred, taken alive from the ashes of Arden IV. They expected her to scream, to plead, to break. Instead, she stood in silence, her eyes cold. When asked her name, she said only, Saren Holt. The Arashi sneered. We'll give her a proper stage. Let the galaxy watch her die. They did not understand what they had just unleashed. The weekend begins. The first beast they loosed was a Vorak, a 4-ton nightmare with obsidian claws that could shear steel. The Arashi expected screams. They expected terror. Instead, Saren moved. No hesitation. No panic. She sprinted toward the Vorak as it roared. She slid under its swipe, driving a jagged piece of arena stone into its eye. The creature shrieked, staggered, and in seconds it was dead. The alien spectators fell silent. The Arashi announcer laughed awkwardly. A fluke, luck only, bring the next. By dusk, Saren had slain 5 beasts. By dawn, 12. The Arashi had imported monsters from the burning seas of Andoril, from the storm worlds of Zeros, from nightmare jungles where even armored platoons dared not tread. One by one they fell, torn apart by her traps, strangled by her bare hands, outwitted and broken by a human who refused to die. By the second day, the galaxy was no longer laughing. They were whispering. The turning point, silence before the storm. On the third day, Saren stood over the corpse of the Corvesh, the Arashi's prized apex predator, a beast they claimed had slaughtered 1,000 warriors. She had broken its neck with nothing but a length of chain. When the Dominion warlord demanded she kneel, Saren did not answer. She simply stared at him with quiet contempt. That silence carried across the galaxy. On distant human worlds, fleets stirred. Messages pulsed through encrypted channels. Admirals dusted off strategies written for wars the galaxy swore would never come. And when the Dominion laughed at their games, humanity said nothing. Because silence was the first warning. And silence always ended the same way. The response, Earth awakens. The first sign came in orbit above Arden IV. Iraski ships loitered, gloating, feeding on stolen spoils. Then a ripple, a distortion, and out of the void came the first Terran dreadnought, black-hulled, silent, its mere mass eclipsed the sun. The Arashi fleet panicked, scrambling into formation. They hailed the human ship, demanding surrender. The dreadnought said nothing. Only when the second, third, and fourth appeared did the comms crackle with words that froze every spine in the sector. "This is Earth. You have taken what is ours. You have slaughtered our people. Return them or be erased." The Arashi laughed. They believed humanity's reach was small, its fleet scattered and weak. They opened fire. It was their last mistake. Climax: retribution unleashed. The void ignited. Human dreadnoughts moved as one, formations honed over centuries. Their weapons tore through Dominion hulls like paper. Arashi warships screamed into the dark, their shields shredded, their engines gutted. And then came the carriers. Doors opened. Hundreds of smaller ships spilled forth, wolves released into a field of sheep. Swarms of gunmetal fury tore through the Dominion. Planetside, Saren was still in the arena when the sky split. Trails of fire streaked downward as human drop pods screamed into the atmosphere. They landed like thunder. From them poured armored soldiers, faceless, unstoppable, wielding weapons the Dominion had never seen. The Arashi guards tried to rally. They died where they stood. The humans moved with the precision of predators, cutting through defenses, freeing prisoners, carving a path of vengeance. And at the center of it all, Saren walked out of the arena carrying the skull of the last beast she had slain. The soldiers saluted her, not as a victim, but as the first hunter of a war about to consume the galaxy. By nightfall, Arden IV was human again. By the next day, 3 Dominion fleets lay in ruins. By the week's end, the Arashi homeworld itself was burning. The shattering of the Dominion. The galaxy had seen wars before, skirmishes, border disputes, political purges. But they had never seen humanity unleashed. The Arashi had mocked humans as prey. Now they learned prey could become predators. Entire constellations went dark as human fleets advanced. They did not conquer. They annihilated. Shipyards vanished. Slave camps were purged. Worlds once painted in Arashi colors were cleansed by fire. The galaxy listened to the silence that followed each battle. The only transmissions were warnings. Earth does not forget. Earth does not forgive. And behind every word was the image of one woman who had survived what no one else could. Saren Holt, the hunter of Arden IV. Resolution: whispers of fear. When it ended, the Dominion no longer existed. Their fleets shattered, their worlds reduced to rubble, their leaders hunted like animals. The galaxy was quiet, too quiet. On neutral worlds, traders whispered, "Did you hear? She hunted the galaxy's worst monsters in a weekend, and then Earth came." Others asked, if one human could do that alone, what happens when billions rise? In hidden chambers, alien leaders trembled. They remembered the silence before the Terran response. They remembered fleets that blotted out suns. They remembered planets burning. And they remembered the words survivors repeated like prayer. Never provoke Earth again. For humanity's patience was vast, but their vengeance, it was infinite.